Hey guys, this is my out-of-theater reaction for The Crow reboot, remake, whatever they're calling it now. I can't keep track of all these different Crow movies. There's only one Crow to me, and it's the 1994 film, which came out 30 years ago. And does this movie hold up to that one? Does it measure in the same level of quality? No, of course not. The writing was on the wall for this one, guys. They've been trying to make this movie for 15 years. I want to say it was announced back when The Dark Knight came out in 2008. They had so many different people attached to play the Crow, everyone from Bradley Cooper to Tom Hiddleston to Jason Momoa, and finally, poor Bill Skarsgård. He got wrapped up in this movie, among other people. And I mean, listen, we all knew from the trailers themselves that this just wasn't looking good. This wasn't shaping up to be a good remake or reboot, and it's not. It's not. I mean, across the board, from the uninspired direction, just kind of lame production design. It reminds me of a Batman film, and not a Batman movie, a lame Batman TV show, like something like CW's Gotham, a movie or a show that's like trying so hard to be dark and gritty and mysterious, and just fails at every single turn. Listen, I like Bill Skarsgård as an actor, but he is woefully miscast here. I mean, his character infamously says in the movie, "I'm more of a cry now and cry later kind of guy." I mean, that's the level of dialogue that we're working with. And this epic romance between Eric Draven and Shelly. Shelly played by FKA Twigs. I believe that's her name, formerly known as Twigs. I'm not familiar with her work or her acting. It's the first time I've seen it, and she is terrible. Now, to be fair, the dialogue that's written for her is not very good. The direction that she's given, that Bill Skarsgård's given, everyone else is given is really bad. But their romance is lame, and you spend so much time with it, and it feels completely unnecessary. And then you have Danny Huston, who, man, if you're making a bad comic book film, Danny Huston is one phone call away from starring in that movie. He's sleepwalking through this entire film. He's just, most of the time he's sitting around, occasionally saying nefarious things, taking a lot of phone calls. I have never seen a villain take as many phone calls as Danny Huston has. He's evil. He's killing people for some reason to prolong his life, and eventually crosses Eric Draven and Shelly, and hijinks ensue. But his villainy is lame, is generic. You've seen it before. So much of this movie feels incredibly dated, which makes sense since they've been trying to make this for over 15 years. It feels like a mid-2000s superhero film. I would also compare it to something like Thomas James the Punisher, which I actually like, but this is like the worst version of Thomas James the Punisher. So I'll tell you right now, if you're a fan of the original Crow, don't go in with high expectations. If you're just a fan of superhero films or gritty supernatural crime thrillers, again, go with extremely low expectations. The worst sin that this movie commits, like, it's a bad movie, but it's the kind of bad movie where it's just dull. It's just boring. There's nothing exciting about it. You've seen this all before. It's the flavor of the week. There's a little bit of John Wick in there too, and they can't even do that well with a lot of the action scenes, because you've seen it time and time again, dozens and dozens of times. And then you just, after the movie's over and the credits are start scrolling, you're like, well, what was even the point of that? Why make this other than to, well, just, I don't know, capitalize on the superhero genre, I suppose. But the movie just feels 15 years too late. But that's just my thoughts. I have my girlfriend here, KATRIA. You want to say anything about the movie?
Yeah, it was very lame, very boring. I hated the dialogue. And yeah, I know the editing is very choppy. Like, we noticed there were scenes that would move from one to another very abruptly. Like, there's a scene where the main characters are, I don't know, they're being lovey-dovey or something, the music's very soft, then we suddenly jump cut to unts,
and it scares you.
Yeah, we were like falling asleep, and then the music came on, we were like, all right, we're still here.
Like, it's trying to wake up the audience. And so KATRIA didn't like it, I didn't like it, and I don't think a lot of people are going to like this movie either. So, I don't know, I'm curious to hear other people's thoughts. I mean, let me know in the comments below if you did like the movie, you didn't like the movie, and provide the reason as to why. But I'll be doing my review soon. But thanks, guys, and see you next time.